your full name and correct spelling for the record, please? TILICUIS IRVIN. TILICUIS IRVIN. Good afternoon, Mr. Irving. I think it's Irvin. Is it Irvin or Irving? Irvin. 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 Do you have a nickname, sir? Yeah, Buck. Is that how people on the streets know you? Yeah. You have to speak up, sir, so that everybody can hear you. Yes, sir. Where are you from? Gonzales, Louisiana. Where is Gonzales, Louisiana? Right by Baton Rouge. Did you ever come down to New Orleans over the last 10 or 15 years? Yeah. What were you doing down in New Orleans, say around 2005, 2004 time period? I used to come out a lot down here. I had a club down here. What kind of club did you have? Just a nightclub. Where was that located? On Bourbon. What type of activity were you involved in to have money to own a nightclub on Bourbon Street? I was a drug dealer. You were a drug dealer? Yes. What kind of drugs were you dealing? Cocaine, kilos. So you're not talking dealing to users, you're talking kilos dealing to other dealers. Yes, sir. How long were you involved in drug trafficking? Ever since I came home from prison in 2003. Okay. Were you ultimately arrested and convicted of some federal drug and gun charges, right? Yes, sir. When was that? 2007. Was that here in New Orleans? No, sir. Where was that at? Baton Rouge. Were you ultimately convicted? Yes, sir. Did you plead guilty or go to trial? Yes, sir. Pled guilty. Okay. And as part of your plea agreement, did you agree to cooperate with the government? Yes, sir. You met with federal agents in your original case? Yes, sir. Gave them information about your co-conspirators, the other people you were dealing drugs with? Yes, sir. Did you receive a break in your sentence when you first got sentenced? Yes, sir. Because you had been convicted of 5 kilograms or more of drug conspiracy, is that right? Yes, sir. And that has a 10-year mandatory minimum sentence? Yes, sir. You also were convicted of having a gun in furtherance of drug trafficking, right? Yes, sir. Which carries an additional 5-year sentence that has to be consecutive. That's right. Meaning after whatever time you get on the drugs. That's right. But because of that cooperation, you ended up getting less than 10 and a 5-year terms, right? That's right. Yes, sir. How much time did you receive at that point? 147 months. Okay. And roughly when was that? My sentencing? Yeah. I would say about 2011. So you're obviously not in an orange jumpsuit here. You are out of prison at this point? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, before you went to jail on those drug charges we just talked about, did you meet a man named Isaac Skinner? Yes, sir. Approximately, what time period did you meet him? In between the time that I came home in 2003 until I came back, in between that 4-year span, I was home before I got busted again. Came home to New Orleans or Gonzales when you say home? When I left prison in 2003, where was home then? Home for me was when I got busted, I was living in Baton Rouge then. All right. Did you know Mr. Skinner by any other names? Yeah, Ziggy. All right. How do you guys meet? At a nightclub right here downtown? Did you and he become friends? Yes, sir. Would you hang out pretty much every time you came down to New Orleans? Yes, sir. Let me direct your attention to August 19, 2006. Were you in New Orleans on that day? Yes, sir. What were you doing down in New Orleans? I was coming down to visit a lady friend. Usually when I come down, I call some of my partners up or something and go swing by. All right. Did you call anyone that day when you came down? Yeah, I called Ziggy. All right. What happened after you talked to him on the phone? We just agreed to hook up while I was down, and I swung by to pick him up. He was at the car wash right here by Claiborne and Felicity over there. Can you bring up 87B, please? Do you recognize this photo on the screen here? Yeah. What's this show? That's the car wash right where I picked him up from. All right. So this is where you and Mr. Skinner met? Yes, sir. I'll move for the admission of 87B. So ordered. Sorry. So once you guys are at the car wash, what do you decide to do? We just talked a little, decided to hang out a little bit, get something to eat, and I wanted to get something to smoke, which is weed. I didn't hear what you said. I wanted to get something, to buy something to smoke. You wanted to buy something? You mean marijuana? Yeah, some weed. All right. Where were you guys going to get the marijuana? Down Martin Luther King, where Isaac brought me a couple times prior. Do you know who the dealer was? Yeah, a guy by the name of Mike. Mike? What street did you say he lived on? Martin Luther King. How did you get from the car wash to Martin Luther King? In my truck. Who was driving? I was driving. What happened as you guys approached the house? As we was pulling up, a shooting was taking place.